I've been making videos recently on how important it is to be non reactive, especially when you're in a conflict, a disagreement with somebody who might have a different perspective than you. I've been talking about how important it is to slow down, to think first before you react. And some of you have said to me, and I get this, I totally understand it, Roberta, that's easier said than done. I know that. I know that what I'm teaching is not easy to do. I never said that it would be easy to do. However, what other choice do you have, or do we have as people, if we want to have good relationships, if we want to have good conversations, if we want to have successful, high performing teams in our workplaces? Some of the new information that's come out is research from Julie and John Gottman. They are couples therapy researchers, and you know how much I love systems theory and how much I love to apply systems theory to the corporate world. And I'm not the only one. There are other practitioners who are excited about that too. So I've learned a lot from this book, from their new book, which is called Fight Right. And I wanted to share just some of the things with you here that will help you, whether it's your personal relationships or your work relationships or both, that you're wanting help with. So did you know that they've researched that for every one negative thing that you've said or done while you're in an argument, it takes 5 positive things to counteract that one negative, to erase it. And one of my clients asked me, well, what are those positive things, Roberta? And I said, well, in the midst of an argument or a heated conversation, you could stop and say, good point. You can even say, I agree with you about this or that, and I have a different opinion about this. So finding places where is a commonality, where there is agreement, where you both have something in common, that's a very good start, because trust is very important in a team or in any relationship. Trust is very important to be able to talk about conflict, because conflict isn't bad. Different opinions are not necessarily negative, and you want to do everything you can to be able to hear an opinion that is different than yours without making a grimace or flinching or making a face. So that's another thing you can do. You can be emotionally present, available as much as possible, and giving cues that with your eyes and with your face, and that you are participating in listening. People love to be listened to. That's a little secret. People want to be heard. People want their voices to count. People want their voices to have value. So that's a best gift you could give to somebody, is to truly listen when they are talking and then to reflect back. This is what I think I heard. Is that what you wanted me to hear? Here's what I understand you to say. Is that what you meant? Asking clarifying questions like that can be very important, because when we start to get triggered, remember, that's our amygdala part of the brain, the old cave people part of the brain taking over. We feel threatened, just like we're running away from a vicious wild animal. So we have to slow down. We have to think. And if we ask questions or repeat back what we've heard, that will help us immensely in this process. So remembering to give some positive signals, even when you're feeling negative or there are negative vibes present in a conflict or a conversation, will really help move that towards resolve. Because when we have a conflict, the Gottmans talk about how we have an agenda. Then we want to persuade the other person to our point of view, and we want to reach a compromise. And one of these suggestions is, don't try to jump into problem solving right off the bat. Don't skip this listening part, this listening intently phase, because when you rush into problem solving too quickly, The other party might feel defensive, might feel resistant, and might feel like we are forcing our ideas or our opinions on them. So, again, listening during conflict is your friend. Asking clarifying questions, reflecting back what you've heard, slowing things down, and giving eye contact and body language that shows you're open to hearing what they have to say will greatly help you be able to reach a good resolve, one that's a compromise. And remember, two people can agree to disagree and still stay emotionally connected. And sometimes we have to take a break. That was another thing that was important from the Gottman's research, because our brains literally get flooded when we're listening intently to something that's a really different opinion than our own. So sometimes we just have to say, can I have a timeout? Can we talk about this in about later? And can we go back to this in about 20 minutes? Because it takes about 15 to 20 minutes for our nervous systems to calm down after we've been stressed so we can listen well again. So I'm hoping these tips are helpful and that you don't shy away from a disagreement or a conflict, because again, that they can generate new ideas for both parties. They can help you grow, they can help you expand. Instead, employ these principles and I'm certain you'll have better conversations.